Let's talk about something we all want, but can have a really hard time getting: respect. You know that feeling, right? When you feel overlooked or like your voice just isn't being heard, it's frustrating. Well, today we're going to break down why that might be happening and talk about a really powerful, learnable solution. And it all comes down to one word: assertiveness. I mean, seriously, I don't want respect. Has anyone, anywhere, ever said that and meant it? Of course not. This really hits the nail on the head. We crave respect from everyone: our friends, our family, our colleagues. And it's not about ego, you know? It's fundamental to our self-esteem and how we feel moving through the world. So let's be super clear about this. Wanting respect isn't some kind of luxury. It's a core human need. It's hardwired into us. It shapes our identity, our relationships, our whole sense of self-worth. And when it's missing, well, you feel that absence deeply. But to get it, we first have to agree on what it even is. So what is respect anyway? When you boil it all down, psychologists say it's pretty simple. It's treating someone with positive regard. That's it. It's about valuing their opinions, even when you totally disagree, and seeing them as an equal human being. That's the foundation we're building everything on today. Okay, this is where we get to the absolute heart of the matter. The respect you get from the outside world, it is so often a direct mirror of the respect you have for yourself. Think of it like this: it's an inside-out job. If you don't truly value yourself, it's almost impossible for other people to. So let me ask you this, and be honest with yourself. Does this question hit home? That feeling of constantly needing someone else's approval, that thumbs up before you can feel good about a choice you've made? That's a classic sign that your own self-respect might be running on low. And that leads us right into these key signs. I mean, do any of these sound familiar? Getting trapped in that endless comparison cycle on social media. Or maybe you accomplished something amazing and your first thought is, oh, I was just lucky. These things, like always going with the flow to avoid conflict or taking all the blame, they're basically broadcasting a lack of confidence out into the world. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. How does that internal feeling of low self-respect actually play out in your daily life? Let's look at some of the really subtle and maybe not so subtle ways disrespect can start to creep in. Just think about your interactions for a second. Are you constantly being interrupted when you're trying to make a point? Do you see that subtle eye roll when you share an idea? When someone consistently flakes on plans or just bulldozes past your boundaries, they're sending a very clear message. They don't value your time or your limits. Seeing these patterns is the first crucial step to changing them. Okay, so we've kind of diagnosed the problem, right? We see the link between low self-respect and how others can treat us. But here's the really good news, the part I want you to focus on. There is a powerful and totally learnable solution, and it's all about assertiveness. Now, this right here is the key. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive or pushy or demanding, not at all. It's about clarity and respect. Respect for yourself and respect for the other person. It's just the skill of expressing your thoughts and needs in an open, honest way that doesn't attack or blame anyone. And this chart just lays it out so perfectly. Look, on one end of the spectrum, you've got passive communication. That's where you let your own needs get trampled, and it always leads to resentment. On the other extreme, you've got aggressive, where you're forcing your needs on others, and that just breaks relationships. Assertiveness is that healthy, effective, sweet spot right in the middle. It's where you build relationships and keep everyone's dignity intact. And why should you bother learning this? Well, the payoff is huge. Being assertive doesn't just get you more respect from other people. It fundamentally boosts your own self-confidence. It cuts down on stress because you're not bottling everything up, and it creates stronger, more real relationships that are built on honesty and mutual respect. So the big question, how do we actually do this? Let's get practical. I want you to think of assertiveness as a toolkit you can build, one tool at a time. We're about to walk through exactly what you need to start communicating more effectively, like today. Here it is, your 4-step blueprint. First, just state the facts. So instead of, you're always late, you're so inconsiderate, you say, we agreed to meet at 11:30 and it's now 11:50. See the difference? No judgment. Second, describe the effect. Third, and this is the most important part, use I messages. And finally, you just put it all together into one clear, non-attacking sentence. If you remember one single thing from our time together, please make it this formula. When you do this specific thing, I feel this specific way. For example, when you interrupt me, I feel frustrated. It is so simple, so direct, and it's nearly impossible to argue with because you're talking about your feelings.
It's an absolute game changer.
And hey, if you want to level this up for situations that are a little more complex, you can add one more piece. When you arrive late to our meetings, then I have to reschedule my next call and I feel stressed. By adding that concrete result, you make the impact of their behavior crystal clear, but you're still keeping the focus on your own experience. Look, this isn't going to happen overnight. Assertiveness is a muscle. You have to build it with practice. So start small, seriously small. The next time they get your coffee order wrong, politely speak up. Practice saying no to a small request you just don't have time for. Stand a little taller. Make eye contact. Every single small action builds that muscle. And that brings us right back to where we started. The entire journey to earning respect from other people begins with respecting yourself. When you learn to value your own time, your own needs, and communicate them clearly, you are literally teaching people how to treat you. It really, truly is an inside-out job. So let's make this real. I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is one small, assertive step you can take today? Just one. Maybe it's finally saying no to something, or using that I feel formula with a friend. Whatever it is, that one tiny step is the start of a huge, positive shift.